Welcome back. We're back with our remaining moments here on The Big Show and talking to the stars of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And the new face of the quiz and the new big star is Jack D. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes.
Are you enjoying it? Is it nice to be with all these people who've been doing it such a long time?
It's fun. It's part of a kind of old tradition now in radio, and it's rather nice to have part of that history now. I do like the show. I always used to listen to it as a kid. So there's Barry making faces at me in the background. You really wouldn't think that he wasn't 12 years old. But it is. It's good. It's part comedy, part old people's home.
I think you're very lucky, in a sense, to be here because there's a million people they could choose from, and they decided on you. When the call came in, how did you feel?
Well, very flattered. It's a nice show to do, and I get on very well with them all. So I was pleased that it was reciprocated. So it's nice, and I'm enjoying the tour. It's great fun to go around from town to town and do all the different stuff pertaining to the town that you're in, which is great.
Seems like as well you've had a good career and you've worked it very well in a sense that we all love a character comedian, and although you are Jack D, you're not dressing up as someone else. You're great at this persona of Mr. Angry, which has made you famous. I noticed that slipping a bit recently. I've seen you smiling on TV, being nice on TV. People are actually warming to you.
Yes, it's a worrying sign. I have to do something about it, but I've allowed a little bit of mirth into my life, and it probably isn't the right thing. It's a bad career move. Yes.
I suppose we ought to do some business for you. We got this new book out, Thanks for Nothing. It's not a very nice title when I'm spending $12.99 on your product, is it?
It's not. No, it's a sort of memoir of the first 25 years of my life. It's the story of how I got into comedy, effectively. And as I say, it's called Thanks for Nothing, and it's dedicated to me, without whom none of this would have been possible. So that's very much the tone of the book all the way through.
I loved your jobs. Tell me about some of the jobs you had, because they were interesting and different, and so not Jack D.
Yeah, I had I didn't do very well at school, so I just had to get on with making a living, and so I did hundreds of things. But I had, even from weekend jobs from the age of 14, 15, I did all kinds of work. I worked at the Wimpy in Winchester once. I got sacked after about 2 days or something because I couldn't keep up with the orders. I was a short order cooker then, and I was okay with a fried egg and a sausage, and then someone would go and order an Olympic breakfast, and then other orders would come in, and I'd get snowed under, and the guy just sacked me. And I said, "Why? What have I done?" He said, "Well, you tell me. What have you done?" "Nothing since you got here. Nothing. Get out." That was the only time really I was sacked ever. So, but after that, I worked in supermarkets, and I worked at a factory where they made artificial legs, something I write about in the book. And I've done all kinds of jobs as a courier, motorbike courier. I write about that in the book. And another one is I used to deliver incontinence pants around southwest London in a van for the NHS.
I can imagine at least 10 minutes of gags if you were to bring that up in this show.
It's what I really enjoyed about doing the book is I had the chance to write it in the mode of a book as well, rather than actually kind of have to make it into sort of throwaway jokes. You had to go a little bit deeper to make it a good read, because otherwise the rhythm of jokes aren't necessarily very good, and also jokes of that type don't work so well on the paper. You have to find another way of getting your laugh from the paper. So I enjoyed the process of discovering how to do that.
And of course, you're the type of comedian, you don't see the funny side of life, you see the other side, which is the depressing, negative side, and then you make that funny. It's not easy, that, because it could just be depressing and boring.
I think what's always appealed to me about comedically is the ordinary stuff in life. I think I've always found it very, very interesting, and I always maintain that the humans are extraordinary because you climb mountains and then stumble on the gravel, and it's that tendency that I find very interesting, that someone literally can have deal with an enormous trauma in their life, some life-changing trauma in their life, deal with it incredibly calmly, and then flip the lid when they get a parking ticket. And so we kind of we put too much importance on the small things, but it's in a way quite a healthy way because it helps you cope with the big stuff. But nevertheless, I find it quite funny.
This thing about the ladies and you, they think you're delicious and gorgeous. What's it like being a sex symbol?
Well, that's the second time someone has said this to me recently, so maybe there's something going on. Someone has said something, but I really don't monitor my profile at all on the internet or magazines, and I've never Googled my name, for instance, and I've never, when I do a lot of press interviews and stuff, I make a point of not reading them afterwards, because I don't think that, they're not written for me anyway. So basically for me, don't read it, measure it. And so therefore I don't want to take on board all that stuff that other people might be saying, but that I would take it as a positive thing, and that's helpful. However, I'm married, and so
it's pointless.
Yeah, pointless.
And being back on the road, I mean, you started doing this. This is how you began, and then you went into TV, and of course later an actor. Is it nice being in these glamorous surroundings again? It'd be nicer if I wasn't surrounded by a load of geriatrics. Are we talking about the audience or the cast? This is insulting on many levels.
Mostly the cast. And the audience are quite sprightly by comparison. Yeah.
Are you finding you're having to speak much more slowly? What is the deal with this tour?
We don't have to speak. No, I don't have to speak more slowly, but I would say that at least one member of the cast is fairly thoroughly wired up with hearing aids and so on and so forth. He has the kind of speakers in his ears that your average 17-year-old would be extremely pleased to have. I think he has the whole thing wired through his brain at some incredible volume, so he can hear. Bless him.
Is it fun being you now? Because you're able to do all the three things it appears that you really like, which is being you, miserable, being really funny as a comedian, and then being an actor. You've got kind of the three things now. Yeah,
it's never fun being me. I just I can't ever seem to lighten up.
What's going on? I mean, we get a touch of your negativity in the book, but where does it really stem from?
I suppose it's kind of a type of realism, really, and you can't escape from the dark stuff in life, the difficult stuff in life, and I think for me, my way of dealing with that is to absorb it into my life, so that it's no longer worrying for me.
I feel like I've been a burden to your day. I feel like this hasn't gone so well. I've just kind of slowed you down and asked you pointless questions. Is this okay? I mean, how would you rate it?
You're right to feel like that. You've been a real pain, and no one even warned me you got ginger hair.
I better let you go, really. Jack D, thank you for talking to me. Do you want another plug for this book? Are you going to say something nice, or do we leave it there?
It's called Thanks for Nothing. It's available at all good bookshops and garages around the country.
All right, Jack D, thank you very much. I know she got a sneaky plug in there. That's not fair.